Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to present coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This evening it is senior night for the Milford High School girls soccer team as they get set to take on their Davenport division rival, the Canton Lady Bulldogs. We are just 4 games away from the conclusion of this 2015 regular season, and right now this girls soccer team in very good position to make it into the MIAA tournament. They come into action this evening over the 500 mark and an overall record of 7-6. And they're coming off of a very big win earlier this week against another Davenport rival in the Foxborough Lady Warriors. It ended up being a 2-0 decision that we were able to cover earlier this week. And so the girls are looking to continue this hot streak going. They now have 4 wins over the course of their last 6 games, 4-1-1 overall in that span. So looking to keep it going. It's going to be a tough test tonight against the Canton Bulldogs that come into tonight's action in 2nd place in those Davenport division standings. So an excellent matchup, a good test as we get closer to the postseason. It will be Milford taking on Canton when we come back next on this senior night, which we bring to you right here on Milford TV. And we welcome you back inside the football field here at Milford High School, getting set for this matchup between Milford and Canton in varsity girls soccer. And before this match gets started, we do have senior night festivities going on. The seniors for Milford High School, along with their parents who are being recognized. First, the team manager, Taylor Langmeyer, along with her family, and also the 4 seniors on this varsity roster. The seniors on this year's team, Katie Brown and Gabby O'Neill, the 2 senior captains, and then also Karina Thompson and Lindsay Stiles. So a small senior class on this varsity squad, but certainly when you look at those 4 names, a lot of key contributions from that crop of seniors. And of course, Katie Brown, one of the scoring leaders on this team, a true leader. Gabby O'Neill, also solid leadership and really dynamic play in all phases of this game. The 2 starting lineups now out there at midfield. In a very important contest now, the rest of these teams will make their way out. We're going to have the national anthem here at the field, so we will step aside for that and be back for the beginning of this game. Milford taking on Canton coming up next here on Milford TV. We are set to get this game underway. Milford and Canton, the 2nd and 3rd place teams in the Davenport division standings for the Hockomock League in girls soccer. Lady Hawks will control the ball first, attacking from right to left across your television screens. Trying to get it out of their own end, but having some difficulty doing so as now Canton takes control. And a long-range shot put on net. It gets off the hands of Emily Duquette and in for the score. Not quite 30 seconds into this match, just lofted in. And they will award the goal to Riley Duceric, the sophomore. Just 23 seconds in. So Milford, after shutting out Foxborough earlier this week, they give up a goal immediately. Emily Duquette getting the start tonight, just could not handle that one. And again, these cold temperatures are certainly going to be a factor for these teams in a number of ways. That ball just a little bit more difficult to handle, whether it's with the feet or the hands when it's this cold out. Emily Duquette finding that out firsthand on that first scoring chance of the day. It really seemed like more of a check-in than anything else. Canton just taking the chance to dump it in towards net. And we're able to get the very lucky ricochet. So on a night where the seniors are recognized on the field, it's an underclassman in Riley Duceric who is able to get the scoring started. It was an unassisted goal. As now Canton will have the opportunity from the corner, looking to really put Milford back on their heels early as this one clanks off the side post. Still active in front of the goal mouth before the Milford defense is finally able to get at least the partial clear. Canton really coming out aggressive in these opening minutes. Defense now will send it back in off the foot of Shannon Foley of Canton. Now taking up the far sidelines. And a trip will result in a kick for the Bulldogs, so yet another good opportunity. Looks to be Sarah McQuarrie, one of the 4 captains on this Canton squad, setting up for the kick. Milford already trailing 1-0. They'll set up the play from the corner, and that one bounces just wide. Bounced just prior to that near post from the Milford goal, but then this time deflected out of play. And it will be a goal kick for Milford as they try to grab their bearings.
And I want to hear the chatter.
Still only 3 minutes into this match. But the early goal really quieting this Milford crowd. A good amount of fans showing up tonight. Of course, it is a Friday night with no football as Milford will celebrate homecoming on Saturday afternoon this week. The fans supporting this girls soccer program that has a chance to make it into the MIAA tournament, including tonight 4 games remaining on their regular season schedule. If they win 2 of those 4 games, they will be in. Another kick coming in from the far corner now. They'll send it right in on a line, and it clanks off the post, but right back out to the shooter. And now out of play, but another corner kick. They set it up quick, a hard line drive kick. Katie Brown will clear it out to the far side. This will roll out of play. And once again, possession will belong to Canton. We have not seen the ball make its way onto the Milford attacking side of the field yet. Now sent forward by Julia Hamilton. Tracking it down in the corner is Stiles. This time it will be Milford on the toss-in as they get it to Maggie Boyle. But right back out of play, it stays Milford ball, 35-19. Still to go in this first half. Our third opportunity to take in a girls varsity soccer game this season. So far we've covered victories against Attleboro and Foxborough. Milford never trailed in either of those games, but they trail here early. Canton overall on the season 9-4-1, 9-4-0 in league play. Milford 7-6-1 overall, 6-6-1 within Hockomock League competition. Up ahead quickly now, play goes to Tessa Cudmore, another captain, and this time Duquette is able to make the sprawling save. We did not get a report on Christine Pye prior to the game. Did not see her out there during warm-ups. Played a very good game against Foxborough, but has struggled with injury issues throughout this fall sports season. She's appeared in just 5 total games as Canton sends this one to the near corner, tracked down with good speed by Casey Bradley. Good space for McQuarrie now as she tries for the crossing pass, but it's intercepted by Rachel LeBlanc, and it is very good to see LeBlanc back out on the field. A good win for Milford against Foxborough, but it ended on a very sour note with LeBlanc going down with what looked to be a knee injury. She was down for quite a bit of time on the field. had to be helped back to the school on the trainer's cart, but that injury appears to be minor as she's good to go for this game tonight. Katie Brown now on the near side. Can't get the pass away to Franzini, but the whistle goes against Canton. Finally something going Milford's way, 32-46 on the game clock in this first half as Nicole Dahlgren sets up for the kick. Catherine Duty in net for Canton. She's a junior. And this is a hard kick over towards the far corner, but not a play up and over everyone. A misfire on that attempt from Dahlgren. Sets up the goal kick for Canton. This is a Canton team that is evenly split on their roster between upperclassmen and underclassmen, with 7 seniors, 5 juniors, 7 sophomores, and 5 freshmen. A lot of freshmen on this varsity squad. Milford, by comparison, with just 2 freshmen to go along with 5 sophomores, 8 juniors, a big junior class on this varsity squad, and the 4 seniors who were honored pregame. Milford sends this in deep. Katie Brown now trying to get around the defense, and just could not get secure footing. She was blocked out well. Play right back on the Canton attacking side. Even 31 minutes on the game clock. A lot of whistles through these opening minutes. Sending that kick in was Shannon Foley, and another score for the Bulldogs. Sarah McQuarrie, the senior. So the score for McQuarrie, and Riley Duceric, who had the goal unassisted to open the game, now gets the assist, so already 2 points for the sophomore. Milford really back on their heels now. 30 minutes and 48 seconds on the game clock in this first half. It is now 2-0 in favor of Canton. Milford calls the timeout. We will step aside as well. More girls soccer action next here on Milford TV. Play resumes out of the timeout, with Milford already staring up at a 2-0 deficit. Canton with 2 goals in this opening 10 minutes, and now they get the steal, courtesy of Tessa Cutmore. These 4 senior captains have been very active through this opening period of play. Sarah McQuarrie, Casey Bradley, Tessa Cutmore, and Haley Mulford, the 4 senior captains for the Lady Bulldogs. Right now it seems like the cold temperatures only affecting the Milford side. Canton looks loose and ready to go. Milford has not yet seemed comfortable out on the field. But this is a Milford team that has played in their fair share of unpleasant conditions so far this season. We think back to the 2 home games for the football team where there were cold temperatures and torrential downpours. Well, this girls soccer team played on the field before each of those games when conditions were possibly even worse than when the football team was playing. They were able to come away with victories in both of those games, so this team can adjust to any situation. They've got to adjust to a deficit here of 2-0 as we surpass the 10-minute mark in this first half. Lindsay Stiles able to get the initial steal, but Canton able to take control right back. And once again showing excellent speed. The defense struggling to get back and set. This ball off the fingertips of Emily Duquette and in. So this time it is Hannah Link with the goal. Tessa Cudmore with the assist. Things are getting ugly early here in Milford. Milford now staring up at a 3-goal deficit. Hannah Link, a junior on this Lady Bulldogs squad. She's actually the only member of this Canton team listed in the top scorers in the league, so this is another offense that has evenly distributed the goals. And we can see they have a diverse offensive attack already with 3 different scorers through this opening 12 minutes. Goals at 39-37, 30-48, and 28-51. Coach Maste has already used a timeout here as they try to catch Franzini on the run, but the defense stays right with the speedy Franzini, step for step. Excellent play out of Shannon Foley. That is a play that Milford has taken advantage of. We saw that happen against Foxborough back on Tuesday. Able to get the quick pass on sides to Franzini, using that speed to get away for the easy look on net, but not this time. Milford does stay on the attack as Brianna Braza is able to get it back in on the toss, but now deflected off of play. Out of play, the attempted header by Maggie Boyle. There is still a long way to go in this game, but certainly a shock to see 3 goals hung on the scoreboard this early. Canton trying to work that far sideline again. Now they cut it back towards the middle. Braza trying to stay close with McQuarrie. The Lady Bulldogs with just 2 games left on their schedule after the conclusion of tonight's action, so they are already guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Oliver Ames and Canton out of the Davenport division, already assured to be in. Milford hopes to be a 3rd Davenport team. Canton still with a chance to make the postseason if they can get a late push. Sharon and Stoughton already eliminated from playoff contention. 25-30 to go in the half as Katie Brown can't make the move around Sarah Connolly, who has been quite a weapon on defense in these opening minutes for the Lady Bulldogs. Now a hard deflection off of LeBlanc. Coach Maste staying positive on the sidelines as LeBlanc gets to this ball, but Canton back with the shot attempt, but it's up and over the net. The head coach for the Canton Bulldogs is Kate Howarth. Assistant coaches Sarah Handman and Deb Nelson. Goal kick here for the Lady Hawks. The last bits of sunlight fading off in the distance, the lights on. We're at the field in Milford High School. A 3-0 lead for Canton. Franzini moving up, trying to get the steal. Milford struggling to activate their two strikers, Franzini and Brown, so far tonight. Franzini again just a hair off on that steal attempt. That's really been the difference in this team tonight, what we've seen so far than what we've seen in their previous games. Just a step slow to react. No doubt a product of the great team speed that Canton possesses. Now another shot in on net. And Duquette's able to handle this one cleanly. Maggie Boyle sends this back looking for her defense, but it ricochets out of play. Braza could not get there in time. Milford with the toss in. Now LeBlanc tries to move it in stride. This whistle against Canton. We'll see substitutions on both sides before play continues. Leanne Kibbe and Sydney Morrison waiting to check in for the Lady Hawks, and you can just see from the body language on the sidelines just how hard it is for these players to stay loose right now with these frigid temperatures. We get down to the end of the road for this fall sports season. Most of the teams with just 3 or 4 games max to go before we will head indoors for the winter season. Milford team hoping they have more than just a handful of games left. They hope they have a potential playoff run in them. Braza with the long toss in, hitting Katie Brown. Kibbe couldn't save it. Possession to Canton. Just able to find that space to make clean passes. Shippard at midfield helping to dump that one back in for the Lady Hawks. Now loses the foot race. Marina Thompson saving that one for Milford. Right back to the defense. Braza up to Kibbe on the near sideline, but again, Kibbe has a glance off her foot out of play. Ticking down to the midway point in this first half. Still a little over 20 minutes to play before we reach halftime. Hard contact right at the top of the box. Braza there, as was Megan Hunter, a senior for the Lady Bulldogs. Sent back in from the far sideline by Canton, but it rolls across the goal line and out of play. A goal kick. That Maggie Boyle is receiving treatment on the sidelines. Possible injury going on there. Jonathan Raskow, team trainer, in attendance. .1933 on the game clock. right now bottling Milford up at midfield. Gabby O'Neill trying to use her speed to break free. She cuts to the far side. Now lofts a kick deep. It hits Katie Brown, and she takes the quick shot attempt. That was close, but wide to the left of the net. That brought a momentary bit of life to this Milford crowd that has been silent, courtesy of those 3 early goals for the Lady Bulldogs. Goal kick now for Canton. That's one of the first shot attempts we've even seen out of Milford in this first half. Gabby O'Neill the first to get to that loose ball. Canton guides it out of play, knowing that it was last touched by Milford. Good steal by Braza. Leanne Kibbe fighting to get there. Stays Canton ball. Ball tossed back in just in front of Coach Mastay, who continues to be very active on the sidelines, trying to rally the troops. Right now, it looks like Maggie Boyle is going to be brought back to the high school. So the bench getting a little bit shorter for the Lady Hawks as we continue on in this game. Here's Canton again. They loop it in towards net and down to her knees. Emily Duquette able to make the stop. Still a little over 17 minutes to go. It's been a bit of a slower pace to this first half. That's thanks in part to the stoppages due to the 3 goals scored. Milford trying to find some way to start to shift the momentum. Gabby O'Neill jumping the gun a bit on this kick. She sets up once again. They get it up ahead to Katie Brown. Now a high arcing pass. Kibbe in the area. Canton's able to get to it now. Shippard sends it back on the Milford attack now. Kibbe just guides it on towards net, but out towards the edge of the box. Catherine Duty picks it up. She's had a carefree first half so far. Now Kibbe again, good footwork, but poked away by Haley Mulford. And Canton back out to midfield. That's been how this first half has gone. Very limited looks on the offensive side of the field for Milford. As Canton again lets it fly from long range. But why not? It has worked for them. .25 left to go in the first half as Milford sets up for the goal kick. Stiles, the senior, gets muscled off the ball. Now this one trickles out of play off the far side. When these two teams met earlier in the season, it was a close one. Canton pulling out the 2-1 victory on their home field. Played a late game that day as well. It was a 6:30 start. meanwhile 3-2-1 in their last 6 games overall. They're coming off of a very tough effort in their last game back on October 20th, a 5-0 defeat at the hands of Oliver Ames. They are far from the only team that has been handed a lopsided defeat by Oliver Ames, who has now scored a total of 59 goals on the season. And OA has allowed just 5 goals. Canton is the 2nd highest scoring team in the Davenport division behind Oliver Ames with 28 total goals scored. You can make that 31 with the 3 that they've tacked on so far tonight. Here's Franzini. She gets tangled up. Both players hit the deck, but the whistle goes against the Lady Hawks. Appeared to be Kendra Farrelly, a sophomore for Canton. Got tripped up by Franzini. Kick sent in by Shannon Foley. Now up for grabs at the top of the box. Milford guides it out. Here's Kibbe with a little bit of space. Tries to get the pass ahead to Franzini. Interfered with by Canton. Now here's O'Neill as Milford looks to push the tempo. To Stiles, now across the field, nearly getting that one to Kibbe. Quick reaction time out of Canton. Sent back on the attack, Franzini pulling up knowing she was not going to get to that ball in time. All the way back now to Braza. Coach Maste wanting to see more players in the area in support. .12:05 left to go in this first half. A trio of goals scored within the opening 12 minutes by Canton has them in full control. Tim Coet and Rob O'Keefe on the coverage for Milford TV. Braving the elements tonight to bring you this coverage of Milford girls soccer. So looping in towards the top of the box. Gabby O'Neill delivers it out towards Franzini. Franzini just can't make the move past Leanna Brune. Now we'll toss this one back in. Marina Thompson able to deflect that ball away. Quick footwork. Stiles tracks this down into the far corner. Tries to send it out of play off of Canton. Officials say last touch by Milford. Now this will go against Canton. Offsides the call. And the goal kick coming up with 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Canton just outworking Milford in every phase of the game through this first half action. Just a little bit quicker, a little bit more physical. Now this one in trouble, and that is over the net and out of play. Of course, anytime you can score a goal as early as Canton did, and a bit of a fluky goal at that, really just some bad luck for Emily Duquette as it glanced off of her hands and in. And that really set the tone for this half. As Canton now gets the corner kick. Milford does a good job getting there first. Now Stiles tries for the quick breakout, but again, there is that closing speed for Canton. right back in on the attack, and Gabby O'Neill with a nice defensive play in front of the net. Shippard now to Kibbe. Kibbe a move around one defender. Has good speed up the near sideline. Now the pass away to Kristen Franzini, but deflected away. Franzini now back in the fray once more. And this whistle against Canton, so this will be a big kick coming up here in good position with just under 9 minutes to play in the half. Gabby O'Neill ready. And in on a line on net, but read well by Catherine Duty. She makes the save. Milford remains off the scoreboard, trailing 3-0. Shippard deflects this ball deep down into the attacking side. Katie Brown closing in, but gets bumped off by Sarah Connolly, and the ball ends up out of play. Canton has not given Brown or Franzini any room to work with through this first half. Milford gets it into Karina Thompson. Thompson looping it towards Stiles. It goes out of play. Milford now with another chance to toss it in. Good deflection for Canton as they try to take it back across midfield. They will. On the foot of Lilla Sullivan. 7 minutes on the game clock. Now Stiles tries to hug that far sideline, but can't keep it in. No panic in this Canton team at all. Very calm and confident with their passing. Nice double team by Kibbe and Franzini. Now Gabby O'Neill sends it along, gets it right back with the header. Now Franzini, good physical play. Here's Brown. Brown with the pass ahead to Franzini, but the defender has a step. Brown jumps into the action, tries to chase it down in the corner. It will end up out of play. Toss in for Canton as we go under 6 minutes. Milford wants to keep it on this side of the field. Back out to midfield for O'Neill. Now it's Kibbe. Barraza can't save it. Jessica Shippard jumping up, trying for the steal. Deflected right back out by Carly Hutchinson. Side struggling to keep the ball in play. We are under 5 minutes now. Hutchinson again, this time she's able to boot it deep downfield. Here's Thompson. Off the foot of Tommaso. Stiles tries to chase it down. Gabby O'Neill with the long-range kick, but quick and alert for the Canton defense. O'Neill up ahead to Hannah Martin. Martin keeps it in play, tries to win it back. Now it's Shippert jumping into the play. Shippert to Brown. Brown wasn't quite in position to receive the pass, then ends up down on the turf afterwards. She's a little slow to get up, Ginger, as she moves back towards the play. Now Braza making sure that there was no good look on net for Lauren Fitzpatrick. Give Duquette a chance to get there and settle down the play. 3:25 on the game clock. First half coming to a close. And Milford gets something going to bring a positive bit of momentum into halftime. Right now, Kristen Franzini on the sideline. She is also getting it attended to. Once again, you have to believe that this weather is very unforgiving for these players. Meanwhile, Maggie Boyle now back here at the field. She is poised on the sideline, waiting to get back in at the next whistle. Crowd reacting to a brief mishandle of that ball in front of the net for Duquette, but she was able to keep it in front and secure it. Steal here for Shippert. Hannah Martin again trying to get there. Now under the 2-minute mark. As this is lofted in deep. LeBlanc able to deflect it with her back to the play. And Milford's able to recover. Now Lindsay Stiles gets hung up and manages to win the ball. Sees Hannah Martin, but the pass intercepted. Milford trailing 3-0 with less than 2 minutes before we reach intermission. Milford will toss it in right at midfield. Head to Martin. And a takedown, no whistle. Kendra Farrelly ended up on her back. Wedged in between two Milford players. The ball ends up back across midfield, where it will stay in possession of the Lady Hawks. Martin couldn't get it to Maggie Boyle. Canton controls as it drifts out across the field to the far sideline. Play Milford perhaps with one last chance to get it up for a shot. But instead they turn it over. Milford wins it back. Kibbe and Martin together. Sent back towards midfield. And there is the whistle that concludes this first half play. Canton enjoying a very big push in the opening minutes. Getting 3 goals to take the early lead. Goals in the first half by Riley Duceric, Sarah McQuarrie, and also a goal from Hannah Link, and that gives the Lady Bulldogs a 3-0 lead. As we hit halftime, we will be back with second half action next, here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. We welcome you back once again inside the football field here at Milford High School for second half action in this varsity girls soccer matchup between the Canton Lady Bulldogs and the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks. And if you are just tuning in, all of the offense so far tonight taking place within the opening 12 minutes of the first half, and all of it courtesy of the Canton Lady Bulldogs taking an early 3-0 lead. Milford has struggled to get anything going on their offensive side. Gabby O'Neill, meanwhile, slow to get up after taking that hard deflection. Milford now looking to attack from left to right across your television screens in this second half. Tim Coette and Rob O'Keefe on the coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV on what is a bitter cold fall evening here in the town of Milford, Massachusetts. Late night soccer now, as we're right at 6:30 p.m. to get this second half started. Sarah Collins down on the turf after that play. A kick coming up for the Bulldogs. Shannon Foley on the kick. She sends it back outside to Sarah McQuarrie, who has one of the 3 Canton goals. Milford with a chance to send this back downfield. Duceric, McQuarrie, and Link with the 3 goals early. The first of which was scored just 23 minutes in. 23 seconds in, I should say. Maggie Boyle taking control up the middle. Fighting to win it back. Boyle will send it back to her defense, where Gabby O'Neill sends it onto the Milford attacking side. Now it's Katie Brown who waits for it. Has 3 defenders draped around her, and Maggie Boyle with the hard trip up. Canton trying to play the ball. It looked like it was Julia Hamilton who stuck the leg out. Now Gabby O'Neill into traffic. Partial clear for Canton. Now Shippard sending it into the corner. Katie Brown along with the goalkeeper, but that one out of play. And it will be a goal kick for the Lady Bulldogs. Again, Milford coming into today's action over the 500 mark in their overall record at 7-6-1. So improving upon their win total from a season ago, looking to take another step forward with this program and make an appearance in the MIAA tournament. Take another 2 wins for them to secure their place. And if they're going to win here tonight, it's going to take a pretty significant comeback, down 3 goals here into the second half. Canton sending that one in towards net for good measure, but it was well up and over. Still in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Katie Brown now looking for Leanne Kippy. She stays on sides, trying for the shot, and the save made by Catherine Duty. But a great play between Katie Brown and the sophomore Leanne Kibbe. Milford's best chance yet tonight. Trying to build on that now as Lindsay Stiles tries to hit Maggie Boyle. It ends up back for Katie Brown, who bends it in on net, but Duty stays in front of it. So all of a sudden, Milford putting a little bit more pressure on the offensive side. Really struggled to generate any kind of consistent attack, so hoping that a couple of decent looks at the Canton net will start to get things going. This is a team that can put it together fast. Milford on the season with 19 total goals scored. It's Canton now back on the attack. Milford intercepts. Stepping up from the defense, Shannon Foley. Tessa Cutmore carrying that one into the box. Emily Duquette forced to deflect it out, but it will be a corner kick. This time from the near corner. Sarah McQuarrie sets up for it. Out to the top of the box for Sarah Collins. It turns into an easy catch for Emily Duquette. Duquette opts to roll it out, looking for Gabby Riley. Riley sends it along. Boyle gets muscled off the ball. Canton leaves it behind, able to recover. Now Boyle again left the game briefly, was taken back to the school. We're back out on the field, back into the game. Now back up the middle for Katie Brown. She leads it ahead again for Kibbe. Kibbe just can't make that move around Shannon Foley. Meanwhile, Kristen Franzini still on the sideline. She came out late in the first half. Right now, seated at the end of the Milford bench. Does not have a warm-up on, so hopeful to get back in this game. We're not quite sure what exactly happened to Kristen to take her out late in that first half. So now it's Leanne Kibbe stepping into Franzini's role on the offensive side, and she has had a couple of good looks, shown good quickness. She is again, gets the pass away to Brown. Brown tries to protect the ball, but it's poked away. 31-12 on the game clock into the second half. Fans here in Milford quiet. Still a good amount of fans here in the stands, heavily bundled under coats and blankets, trying to stay warm. See it on the sidelines as well with the bench players, the Canton side standing, huddled together. Possession staying with Canton deep in their own end. Deep in their attacking end, I should say. This time the ball drifts over the goal line for the goal kick. Sienna Pierce now checking into the game before play continues. Abby O'Neill now sending it up ahead to Maggie Boyle. Cam tosses it in, it deflects down into the corner. Karina Thompson maintaining good position to guide that ball out. Another goal kick for the Lady Hawks. 29.5 minutes on the game clock. Waiting for that one, Riley. The deep kick. Duty feeling the pressure. She sends it away from Katie Brown, who was racing onto the scene. Back to LeBlanc. LeBlanc tripped up. Taking it upfield is Cudmore for Canton, now back out to midfield. Maggie Boyle, the quick pass, but right to Sarah Conley. Boyle steals it. Brown sends the pass ahead to Kibbe. Now Kibbe pokes it forward. Maggie Boyle racing in. The defense there, the header by Katie Brown to try to keep it in on the attacking side. Back down the near sidelines. This is going to stay in. Karina Thompson on her horse. She's there in a good smart pass to Rachel LeBlanc, and now Thompson able to boot it out towards midfield. Boyle again trying to play it off of the Canton defender. Shepard hits the deck. Ball across to the far side now with 27:48 left on the game clock. Milford continues to be held scoreless. And meanwhile, the cheer in the distance being raised by the varsity boys soccer team, who is here supporting the girls. Coach Meste calling for pressure. Meanwhile, while we have the opportunity, we have not yet checked in with the Kelly Rex division in girls soccer, where it is the same team atop those standings, the Franklin Lady Panthers, who are having a season for the ages, as LeBlanc is taken down hard from behind. Tessa Cudmore with that takedown. Franklin 14-0-1 overall on the season, 13-0-1 within league play, 58 goals for on the season, and they continue to shut out every opponent they face. They have not allowed a single goal on the season. Just incredible to be that lethal on both sides of the field. So needless to say, they have long since known their fate in the MIAA tournament. Mansfield also in playoff position at 9-3-2 overall. North Attleboro also 9-3-2. Taunton under the 500 mark at 6-8-2. Attleboro at 5-11-0. And King Philip bringing up the rear in the Kelly Rex at 2-14-0. That Franklin team should be quite a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. This ball rolling free all the way down into the corner. Canton just able to save it, but Brown is there. But intercepting it is McQuarrie. Now up ahead to Maggie Boyle. Boyle pulls up, now tries to send it on near where Katie Brown was positioned, but the ball ends up out of play. Checking back into the game is junior Sydney Morrison for the Lady Hawks. And this play here for Canton on the near sideline. Kivy trying to take advantage. Canton plays it out of bounds. Milford looks to push the tempo. Boyle fighting hard for it. Gabby Riley in a battle. That one just crossing the sideline. It stays Milford ball. 24-26 on the game clock. Milford with a little bit of space, but Canton closes in and sends it back out for the clear. Drifts out of play. It will stay with the Lady Scarlet Hawks. Boyle tries to close. Maggie Boyle has shown really good effort, really all game long. Katie Brown just with no space to work with once again. Karina Thompson trying to cut this ball off, but getting to it first is Tessa Cudmore. Down into the corner, tries for the centering pass. The ball ends up out of play. Hannah Link streaking on net, looking to receive that pass. Corner kick coming up for the Canton Lady Bulldogs. Already with a 3-0 lead. We have not yet seen a goal in the second half. Into the top of the box, the header, and just over. Sometimes tough to tell from this far away if it bounces in or bounces over, but that one just up over the net. Goal kick for Milford. Continues to be a 3-goal deficit for the home team. Now this one drifting back in. Duquette again dropping to the knee to keep it out in front of her. Three goals, the most that Milford has allowed in a game since October the 6th, when they allowed 5 goals in a loss to Franklin. Milford has kept the goals allowed pretty manageable all season long. They allowed 3 goals in a loss to King Philip earlier this season. 3 goals in a loss to Oliver Ames. And the 5 goals in the loss to Franklin. Those have been the highest goal totals in a single game for a Milford opponent. Other than that, it's been 2 or fewer. On the attack again for Canton. Milford able to get the numbers back just in the nick of time. Now they'll send it in from long range again, and the score. A 4th goal tacked on for the Lady Bulldogs from more than 25 yards out. Haley Mulford, the senior, with the score. And now it is the Canton fans who send up a rallying cry after they just watched girls team put up a 4th goal in this game. So after talking about that goals allowed total, this will now be the 2nd highest single game mark for a Milford opponent on the year with still half of this second half action to go. That kick sent deep by Shannon Foley, but wide to the right of the net. And even 20 minutes and another scare. Will be another corner kick. As Canton looks to continue to keep the pressure on despite the sizable lead. Looking to head that one in was Riley Duceric, who already has a goal. The Milford fans trying to stay in it, trying to keep the spirits up for their players on the field. But Canton just relentless. An extended period of time on their attacking side as Francesca Shippard checks back into the game, spelling Sydney Morrison. 18:43 left on the game clock. Milford needs to put the ball in the net if they hope to even have a chance to narrow this gap. Running out of time to do so. Now another one sent on to the Milford goalkeeper, Emily Duquette. Sends it out towards Gabby Riley. It was nearly picked off. This time it is stolen. Stolen by Tessa Cudmore. Milford just cannot get this ball out of their defensive side, as the shot by Cudmore deflects off the side of the net. Out on the goal kick, but Milford can't get the clear. Whistle going against Gabby Riley. Up again comes Shannon Foley to make the kick. Design play out to Sarah McQuarrie. Result will be a goal kick. Can Milford get this ball past midfield? Right now, Catherine Duty, the goalkeeper for Canton, wandering around outside of her net, trying to stay loose, trying to stay warm. She has not seen any action in quite some time. Stolen again, this time by Riley Duceric. Into the corner where it's kept alive by Cudmore. The centering pass. Milford trying to get there. Kate France, the junior, into the game. Right now, Coach Maste cycling in a lot of different personnel. Lindsay Stiles and Hannah Martin waiting to check back into the game. Gabby Riley hits the deck hard. Good fight trying to get to that ball before it went out of the near sideline, and it does end up being Milford ball. for trying to push the tempo upfield, but official giving the subs time to check in. Leanne Kibbe heads to the bench. Katie Brown couldn't win the race before that ball went out of play. It does not look as though we will see Kristen Franzini for the remainder of this game. That is a potential major cause for concern for Coach Mastey and this team moving forward. Looking at a situation in this game right now where you're staring up at a deficit that is increasingly difficult to come back from with the amount of time left. Only 14.5 minutes remain on the game clock, but looking ahead, you want to finish the season off strong and seal up that playoff berth. Kristen Franzini is going to be a big part of that success, but right now remains on the sideline. It looks like she is right now on the turf trying to get possibly her back loose. As a quartet of subs come in on the Canton side, with their hefty lead giving some of their reserve players a chance to see the field. Rachel LeBlanc and Karina Thompson pair together to get that ball out of the box. As we look ahead to the remainder of that regular season schedule for the Lady Hawks, after this game today, 3 more contests. And their next 2 come on the road. They will next play on October 27th at Oliver Ames, and then October 29th at Stoughton before returning home on Halloween for a non-conference game against Hopedale to round out their regular season schedule. And if all goes according to plan for the Lady Hawks, they would love to take those 2 games on the road and know that they're in when they come back for that last home game of the regular season. Playoff spots on the line for a couple of different Milford teams. This girls soccer team, the football team will also be fighting for their playoff lives this weekend in their homecoming matchup against Stoughton, another game that you will be able to see right here on Milford TV. Also check out all of our Milford High School sports coverage on our YouTube page. Just search My Milford TV on YouTube. Find all of our sports coverage and all of our other Milford TV content. A little under 12 minutes remain now in the second half. Milford continuing to battle right to the bitter end, trailing 4-0. They have trailed in this game since the opening seconds. In a battle in the near corner. Jessica Tomaso right in the middle of it. She tosses it in looking for Katie Brown. But calmly sent back in deep by Conley of Canton. Now this baseman sent on ahead, but nobody home. Duty sends it back out towards midfield, but it takes a bounce out of play. It's been a bit of a quicker moving second half as we come down to the final 10 minutes. More substitutions as Brianna Braza comes back into the game for the Lady Hawks. She will take the place of Jessica Tomaso. Maggie Boyle tries to keep that one in. Now Gabby O'Neill back to Boyle, but Canton able to stay on the attack. Whistle going against Canton. There was a Canton player down as Boyle tried to make her move. Milford gets the benefit of the whistle, and here is the captain, Gabby O'Neill. Stops in her tracks initially, now sets up for the kick. Gets it right on a line to her fellow captain, Katie Brown. This evening began with a celebration of the seniors on this squad. Once again, Katie Brown and Gabby O'Neill, the two senior captains. Karina Thompson and Lindsay Stiles, also seniors on the team, along with Taylor Langmeyer, who is the team manager. But unfortunately, after that celebration, there has not been much for the home fans to cheer for. It's just been an impressive evening of soccer for the Canton Bulldogs. Just a little over 8 minutes left on the second half game clock. Canton trying to finish out strong. Milford hoping they can get it upfield for a possible score to prevent the shutout. The last time Milford was held completely off the scoreboard was back on October 13th. Milford played to a scoreless draw against North Attleboro. Here's Boyle, she hits Katie Brown with the pass. Brown works backwards now. Just lets the ball drift across midfield where Canton is there to make the play. Ticking down to 7 minutes left on the game clock. Boyle again taken down from behind. Milford sets up for the kick. LeBlanc sends it deep downfield. There waiting for it was Stiles, but she has her pocket picked. Canton right back up the near sideline. Leading the attack, Sarah Collins for the Lady Bulldogs. The ball down into the corner. And there's Gabby O'Neill. Now she uses her speed. She has some space. Loses sight of the ball off the deflection by Carly Hutchinson of Canton. Now it's Katie Brown. Sarah Connolly playing close to the senior captain. It's been a frustrating evening for Katie Brown, no question about it, without much space at all on the field. These other Hockomock League teams, they know what a scoring threat Katie Brown is. No without paying very close attention to knowing where number 2 is at all times. Just 5.5 minutes left now. Canton just refuses to relent. They refuse to let Milford see any sort of time on their offensive side. We saw a couple of good looks in net early in this second half. Leanne Kibbe with a nice shot attempt on net. But that's about all Milford's been able to muster against this tough Canton defense. Canton came into this evening's action allowing just 17 goals on the season, the second fewest in the Davenport division. And now this will drift back towards the Milford keeper. Duquette picks it up. Kick towards the near sideline, just away from the extended reach of Brown. Now here's Boyle trying to hit Katie Brown with the pass. She just couldn't control it. Now Braza with some space. That Canton defense closes in again. Now Boyle takes a seat trying to play that ball. It goes back deep into the defensive side for Milford, drifts into the box where Duquette is there. Just over 3.5 minutes left. This game all but in the books. Katie Brown lets it fly, but a little too hard. She saw Lindsay Stiles to her right. Tried to push it ahead for Stiles, but a little too hard. Now Thompson, a good pass ahead to Katie Brown. Now here's Leanne Kibbe. Can she get the shot away? It's off the mark. Most of the scoring chances tonight have been off of those sort of plays to Leanne Kibbe, who again has assumed that role for Kristen Franzini, who has been absent from the field for this entire second half. She exited late in the first half with an apparent injury and has been on the bench ever since. Hopefully it is not anything too serious, as Milford will really need her services over this final stretch. Braza can't wheel through traffic. Ends up back to Gabby O'Neill, who lets the ball drift to the far sideline. Played ahead by Gabby Riley, but Canton just dumps it back in. We're under 2 minutes to go now. Blank jumps up into the play. Now it's Braza again. Canton just content to continue to dump it back deep onto their attacking side of the field and work down the remainder of this clock. Just over a minute to go until the final whistle. So this will break up a 2-game winning streak for Milford. And for Canton, it will get them back on their winning ways after that tough 5-0 loss to Oliver Ames back on the 20th. Oliver Ames will close out their regular season schedule as they send this one in towards net, and Duquette's able to make the save as Canton hoped to deposit one more into the net before the final whistle. But Canton closing out their schedule with a game on the road against Stoughton on the 27th and then back home to face Sharon on October 29th. And this game in the books. An impressive effort out of the Canton Lady Bulldogs tonight, scoring less than 30 seconds into the first half, and they did not look back from there. A dominating 4-0 victory for Canton over Milford here on Milford's senior night. And so again, with the loss, Milford drops to 7-7-1 overall on the season. And that will wrap up our coverage for tonight. For Rob O'Keefe, I am Tim Coette. Your final score, one final time, Milford loses it by a final of 4-0. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics on Milford TV. So long, everybody.